Well, hello, my computer's about to die and I'm going to show you some things that I do and how I edit videos. I'm also going to do some other secret squirrel stuff along the way, maybe show a few photos, find some winners for some recent giveaways, and we'll have a bunch of fun. Let's do it. This computer is running Windows XP. I've had it for about 10 years. This is my editing program, Adobe Premiere 6.5. It's very old now. I upscale my videos to HD using Windows Media Encoder. I use Audacity for a lot of audio work in my videos. This is a free program, and I also use Virtual Dub to translate some of my slow motion videos, which don't really suit that well in Adobe 6.5, but that's another story. Just looking at my hard drives in this very old computer, I've got a C drive, which I've just formatted this computer because I've had problems and I've been trying to solve issues. So I've done a backup. So there's an external drive here for backup of all my stuff, and I think it's really good to be regimented in backing up because I have gone through a hard drive failure and they're not nice, and you certainly learn after that you back up all the time. This here is the D drive, and this is my video drive. And if I do the properties of this, I like to keep only a few projects up on this drive at a time, and it's because it's set up as RAID 0, and RAID 0 is a little bit dangerous to have for the reasons that there's basically no backup. You're sharing data across two hard drives. If one hard drive fails, then you're in all sorts of trouble. I think these days the logical thing to do is have your system drive as a solid state hard drive and get away from the mechanical ones. That would be the ideal situation these days. Well, here's a folder of all the files that I used in one of my videos, and it was the one where I converted a Ninjago to being a self-spinner. There's a project file there that the video is made around. It's a Premiere file. There's another one here I've got to process the slow motion stuff separately. I have trouble getting my slow motion footage to work on this old computer. And there's some titles there. There's some audio there. I won't click the file reel one because you'll just get annoyed. I'll keep that separate. Let's take a look at this project. Well, okay, this is Adobe Premiere 6.5. This is an old program on an old computer. This program came bundled with a piece of hardware I bought back in the year 2000. So I used to buy a piece of hardware. It was like basically a very fancy Firewire card, and it would come with a program like this attached with it. This is where you import your videos, and it was very easy to import. You just double click there and you can drag whatever you want in. This will look very familiar to anyone else who uses these types of programs. They're all sort of the same. This is your big preview window here, and you can see it's pretty fast. There's no lag as I scroll along the timeline. Over here is all your effects and things, transitions, blah blah. I can adjust audio over here, and you can also adjust the audio down on the timeline by using those little rubber bands if you've ever used these sorts of programs. The big black line there is the watermark that I put on my videos, and sort of in between the audio and that black line is basically the video being edited and constructed. Let's take a closer look. We're looking fairly close into this project now, and we're up in the section where I'm talking about some things that I'm giving away. And there's one thing I like to do, and I do it a lot, I disassociate the audio from the video that's been seen. And why I do that is I can drag that piece of audio down there, and what you'll find is these clips here are actually being edited down. So what I'm doing is that I'm editing in little short pieces of video to make it more visually interesting to watch. And you've got to disassociate the audio away to do that, because this is spoken live to camera, but you can't go along making these little edits and still have a continuity of audio. So it's one thing I do a lot in my videos, is this disassociation of audio to video. Well, let's move along in the project and get up to the end near the file reel, the dangerous part of the video. Oh, there's that voice. Ah yes, it's a voice that divides a nation. But the file reel's up the end. I suppose it's a bit of cheap entertainment that I put up there that people seem to like or dislike. But I've got a bit of Kevin MacLeod's music in the end here. And it's different to what you're going to find on the website. Just listen and you'll notice what's different if you know this piece of music. The piece is called Pinball Spring, but it's been sped up quite a bit because I like it. I like to change the audio so it doesn't sound like everybody else's video if people are using that same piece of music. And of course, at the end, part of the condition of using Mr. McLeod's music is you put a title, and the title's there, just acknowledging him. And I've given this person a donation. He's worthy of a donation. He's a fantastic composer for royalty-free, copyright-free music. The other thing I do all the time is I alter how the video looks. What you see is not what comes out of the camera as the raw video. Remember, I'm still on standard definition. None of my stuff's HD. Everything I've got's old. Everything I've got's dying. But I put a couple of filters onto my video to really make it spring up and jump out. And I'll show you what they are. Okay, this here is what the Canopus video card came with. It came with a whole package of filters as well. I mean, Premiere's got its own, and then there's other ones which bolt onto the program. This is a bolt-on. There was a color correction thing that I use all the time, and these are the settings that I use. I add a bit of chroma there. I've got 3 set on that. I darken it down a touch. It's -6, and I've got a 3 on the contrast. I like to have a bit of crunch on my video. I like stuff to look very different to what comes out of the camera, and I need to do that because quite often what you shoot looks fairly bland and boring. I haven't done any color correction there. You can fiddle and diddle all you like, but that's what I do. I do this a lot, and sometimes I really do crunch those numbers. Some people don't like contrasty stuff. I do. And I also add a sharpness filter because I'm still on standard definition, so I set it at 25, and that sort of makes the old standard definition look a bit crisper when I go through the upscaling in Windows Media Encoder. It's funny, there'll be some people who will be quite shocked that I don't have the latest and greatest thing that flies out of an Apple store. But I've never been a person who's drifted towards changing things every couple of years. If something works, I tend to stick with it. And I've got to say, I've had a massive amount of longevity out of this operating system, and I love Windows XP. Windows XP is a fantastic operating system. I've got Windows 7 on a laptop in the house, and I do like it, but I don't know, I just like XP. And there's one big problem, is because I've got this old clunker computer, and everything's been written as a Canopus AVI program. I've taken it to the Apple Store, and the Apple Final Cut Pro will not open these files. They've got to be transcoded to be accepted by Final Cut Pro. Funny, this program here, this old Premiere program, in its day, it would basically open anything. QuickTime files, anything that was around. It's a shame that Final Cut Pro isn't as flexible as it should be. There's a lot of debate about that on forums, but hey, Apple do their thing their way, and they're very staid in their ways, but what can you do? And what's really nice about your proper editing programs is that you can have non-rigid working areas. You can have stuff wherever you want, and that's something that the cheaper stuff you can't do. And I can just do, where is it now, workspace, me, and I can go straight back to the way I like it. Well, we've jumped ship out of Premiere, and now we're looking at Audacity. It's a free audio suite or editing program, or whatever you want to call it. And I'll do something quite disturbing here. Let's record a fail reel, and I'll show you how I get to it. Fail reel! Well, that's how I say it. Now let's turn it into something quite disturbing. I can select that section there, effect, change pitch. I think this is how Fred does his thing. I don't know, I'm not Fred, but I don't know, put the figure maybe 40 there. Okay, and now listen to what we've got. Disturbing, isn't it? The other one I get asked all the time is the Thomas voice. How do I do that silly Thomas voice in those toy reviews and parodies that I do? Well, let's do a bit of Thomas.
Well, Percy, that's going to cause nothing but confusion and delay. Time for a bit of Thomas power!
And I'll just stop there, and let's highlight that, and let's make that into the sort of sound that I want. And again, we'll change the pitch a bit. I don't know, change it up. I don't know, let's just try 15. I've forgotten the figure. Okay, now let's listen to it. Get to the start here.
Well, Percy, that's going to cause nothing but confusion and delay. Time for a bit of Thomas power!
Well, the secret's out. I suppose we could ramp it up a bit further. Let's oh, where is it? Change pitch. 15. Let's take it up to 28. What do you reckon? Let's do 25. Let's just see how 25 sounds. It's going to be a bit more high pitched, a bit more frettish.
Well, Percy, that's going to cause nothing but confusion and delay. Time for a bit of Thomas power.
That might be a winner. Well, there's a microphone that I use, and it's hanging on a bit of. Let me crank the camera up to show you. It's not connected firmly to anything. It's hanging on a bit of that stuff that's got aluminium in it, and it's all soft on the outside. I've forgotten the name of it. But that's, what's its brand name? Yoga. I don't know if it's good. It's a USB thing. I've got my camera thing. Let's do Percy's voice, and I'm lucky. I'm Australian that I can pull all sorts of different crazy voices.
And I think of this radio presenter in Sydney called Alan Jones, and that's who I use to do a Percy. Let's do a Percy. Okay, Thomas, time to get off that shake shake bridge. I think it's about to blow up.
And I've forgotten, I don't know if I give a bit of pitch up on that. I think I pitch up anything. Let's just do a bit of pitch up, change pitch, only a tiny bit I think with Percy. I think it was only like maybe 5% up. I'm having difficulty remembering for some strange reason. Let's listen.
Okay, Thomas, time to get off that shake shake bridge. I think it's about to blow up.
That sounds like Percy to me. And for those who are saying it sounds gay, how dare you? I've just run down the garage, and there's one of those things that's holding my microphone. And I think they were sold at Aldi for tying things onto the top of cars on roof racks. Although I don't know how much I trust this. But it's got a piece of aluminium in there, which you can bend to any shape. And that's that. Enough of that. Let's move on. I've also got another hard drive which plays a very important role, and it's where all my videos end up getting stored and all the files related to those videos. And it's an external hard drive to the computer, and there's also another one which plays a role in this archive as well. Well, shock horror guys, there's my computer. It's been playing up, so that's why it's all sort of pulled apart. This is the card, or the breakout box from the video card that I had. Well, I had it for years now. Bought it back in, I don't know, year 2000 or so. And it's got a Firewire in, but also had analog in as well. And that was sort of what was nice about it, that you could just plug in a VCR or whatever and record video. I mean, analog's, I think, just a dead duck now. I don't think anyone uses analog anymore. But just to look at that drive, that archive drive, and how I deal with archiving, and that's very important to look at as well. So there's my 1 terabyte archive hard drive in there. All my video files are on that. And what I do, and this is what I think everyone should do, if you can, you have a backup of a backup. So this hard drive here has exactly what's on this hard drive here. So if this hard drive fails or crashes or I drop it or whatever, I can fall back to the backup of the backup. And I think that's really important to do with these mechanical drives. And really, hard drives are so cheap now, it's quite easy to do this, and I highly recommend you have backups set up like this. Well, computers is a dry old subject, isn't it? Let's look at some photos, and the first one's marked November 1980. What was I doing back then in November 1980? Oh my goodness, I've got a costume on and I look like Ace Frehley. Yep, it was when the Kiss concert was in Sydney. I was 13, I think. Probably, you know, one of the better times of my life. I just wish I could go back to that time. I think I was in year 7 at school back then. Just a great time of your life when you're that age. Moving along, that's when I was about 21. I'm there at a friend's house next to the pool. We never had a pool. I've never been in a house that just had a pool. I don't know why. In my life I went through stages of being plump to being quite skinny. I used to do a lot of running back then. That's why I was skinny. My first job out of school, I worked overhauling aircraft propellers. And what I used to do, this propeller here would have been one that went through an accident. It would have been the end of it curled over, and I used to cut that off on both ends. And I used to put a clock in the middle, and I would have some words on it that said "Time flies." So it's a play on the whole fact that it's a propeller and there's a clock in the middle. And a lot of hard work overhauling aircraft propellers. I don't know if anyone out there knows that job, but it's hard work. And the aircraft industry is difficult as well. It's so licensed and controlled. Well, this is my next boss after working in the aircraft industry, and there's a gentleman called Sid Howard. That's Sid there, and that's me, of course. And we're up in Papua New Guinea. With Sid I travelled the world. I went to many places. He was a fantastic boss, hard but fair. And he's still kicking on as the day I'm making this video. He's still alive today. I learned a lot of stuff from Sid. I think the main thing, thinking back about Sid, is that the return you get for doing hard work. And it's funny, when you're young, you don't realise you're doing hard work. When you're young, you're very good at doing hard work, and when you get older, like I am now, I'm trying to steer clear of it. This is in Toronto, Canada. I'm working with the Alonzo fireworks family. This here is a multi-break shell, like the Italian style, so there'd be a time fuse on the top. I used to go over for the Montreal fireworks festival, and I got caught up one year and I went down to the Toronto one as well. Montreal's about as far away from Sydney, Australia as you can imagine. With the Alonzo family, I once went over for a 4th of July, and I stayed in a little town called Mechanicville. It's in New York State. It's a beautiful place. I was there in summertime. I never saw their winter. I was staying with an Italian family, being the Alonzos, of course, and they treated me like I was one of their family. It was a fantastic time. Went and saw a number of things there. Harley-Davidson rendezvous. I mean, I got a big dose of American culture. And in Mechanicville, Louis Alonzo, unfortunately Louis passed away a number of years back, but Louis was the fire marshal on his side of the town. And I loved setting these fires. And I mean, this was a big fire. There's an old shack, and they just said, let's light it up, you know. And in came the fire truck. I mean, American fire engines are fantastic. And they had this great big, I think it was 5-inch feeder hose. Just amazing fire engines and stuff. I love the fire engines in the USA. And I've got some very fond memories. There's Louis Alonzo there. His son Jeff runs Alonzo Fireworks now. If you go onto YouTube, you'll find him, I'm pretty sure. There's a fire. It's been put out a bit there. Moving right along, and this is the Power Rangers. I just want to talk about this person here. This is a gentleman who got me into the film industry. It's a gentleman called Warren Beaton. Warren is one of these people who is a genius. He is multi-skilled. He knows a lot of stuff. And he's gone on and he's worked on Lord of the Rings, and I think he was on The Hobbit. And I mean, I met him at fireworks, and he used to come along. And I was always fascinated by him because he just wanted to sit down and have a talk with us, because he liked fireworks as well. He liked everything. And I said to him one day, geez, Warren, explain to me, what do you do for work? Give us an example. And he said, well, it's quite simple. You know, the Gobbledog. And it's a character which used to be with Smith's potato chips. I said, yeah. He said, oh, well, I designed the Gobbledog. And that's sort of Warren all over. And there's a picture of the little actress who was Alpha 5 and me. Go Power Rangers. Okay, if you remember, I did a video about some cheap toys from a store in Australia, and there was an item there that was being given away, and you had to identify who Learning Curve became. Well, like anything in life, this is not as simple as it seems. The person who got the first comment in and said, Tommy, was that YouTuber there? But they swapped out the prize. They said, hey, send me something different. So because they didn't have a condition that you couldn't swap out, I sent him something different. Which means I've still got this play set, so let's find another winner. Let's make it the second person who said Tommy on that video. Let's have a look. So there was the first person, the Captain Rex of Nerf. Great channel name. Let's scroll to the next one. There's the next winner. Daniel Thomas 313. Well, so there you go. Daniel Thomas 313. You thought you missed out, but you have actually won. Well done. Then there was this other set of Chuggington diecast, and all I needed you to do was tell me, hey, I like this stuff, I don't see where I live, leave a comment, and I'll look at your feed, and if you've been supporting me or someone I know, well, you probably get it. And you know what? I found someone. And the comment I've picked out is this one from, what's the channel name? Shiloh White. Shiloh White. Hope I said it right. I'm from the United States in California and I don't see that set of Chuggington and I'd really want it. But when I see it online, I see that it's really expensive. Ooh, well, let's have a look at your channel and see how your feed is. Well, there's the channel, Shiloh White. It's the feed tab. The feed tab sort of tells you what this YouTuber's been up to. I can see Enterprising Engines already, so that's a good channel to enjoy. I like Enterprising Engines a lot. And I can see all sorts of other people that I like. Wow, you really like Enterprising Engines by the looks of it. Shane Dawson? Well, there's someone I know, Simioski. And as we keep scrolling down, we'll see, oh, you like ghost stuff? Ooh, there's a Mark Epsilon video, well done. So I'm seeing enough of things that I like, and I'm pretty sure that you've been watching my rubbish as well somewhere. Nice to see, what a Shane Dawson here, what's going on? I can't see me, but I can see people I like. Anyway, well done, I'm going to give it to you. Moving right along, and there was this Fix and Go Chuggington diecast set. It's a nice little set, and the deal was you sent through a video response of a Thomas and Friends thing, and you had then, if you won this, you had to do a review of this on your channel, and I've chosen a winner. But I've also got a special surprise winner as well, so there's 2 winners in a way. Well, this person had the video response in, and it's Trackmaster Thomas Big Haul set. It's quite a good little review. It talks a lot about the changes with Trackmaster. This person certainly knows what he's looking at and talking about. And there's a channel name, Burka04. And I looked at your feed and you've certainly been supporting me, so thank you very much and well done. You have won that set that you now have to review. There were 8 people who sent a video response in to this to try and nab that little Chuggington prize. Someone sent a Chuggington review in. Remember, I asked for Thomas and Friends, but this Chuggington review is amazing, and I've got a very special prize for you for a very good reason. Well, here's a review, and the channel is Cali Fan, and the review's about this new Chuggington system, and it's very much an insight into what Tommy are doing to change Chuggington's toys. And like I've said before, Tommy is a fantastic toy company. They could rejuvenate the whole Chuggington brand to being a very, very wanted thing. And this review covers all the bases. It's so full of information. I learned a lot from it. In fact, it had me thinking, geez, I need that toy. And a good review, if it's got that you thinking that, man, I've got to get this, I've got to, go online and go down the shops and get this, well, the review has done its job. This is an excellent review. It really is. I was so impressed with this, and it deserves a prize, even though it's not what I asked for as a video response. But I can't help but think that you've done yourself a very good justice here. Let's see what you have won. Well, I found some more Chuggington at the reject shop, and I've got you 2 3-packs. One of them is the Let It Snow Brewster pack. It's a great looking set. Fantastic painting there on the trains. Moving across, I've got another one there for you. Wilson and the Paint Wagon. Again, the detailing is excellent with this. It's one of the strong points of Chuggington. And well done, Cali Fan. You really did impress me with your review on the Chuggington set. I loved it. Well, next up is the person who's going to win this custom Finn Adventure Time headpiece. And it was a very short format giveaways, and there was also a prize for the person who said first as a first comment, but that fell through. So whoever wins this helmet, I will throw that first prize in, if that makes any sense. And that's what I was up to, mucking around with that Lego stuff, making some Adventure Time things. And hey, I've chosen this as the winner. This comment, it's a very nice comment. There's the channel name, was it Lackey450, and from reading the comment, it looks like you're from Germany, so das is good. And at the end of it, it says, I'm a big fan of you too, Leo. Oh, very nice to hear. And I did look at your channel, and your feed tab is loaded with my content. Nice to see. I like to see, of course it's nice to see that you're a big fan, but if I see other people that I know on in that feed tab, that's going to satisfy me as well. And when looking at Lucky's 450's channel, he had a very nice little video of a custom made train set for miniature Urkels, very much like the same sort of thing you'd see in the Bluebell Railway, but it was all custom made. And that was really impressive to see. Well done, I liked it a lot. And that was the name of the video, My Mini Ertl Thomas Collection, Lackey 450. Well done, you've won that little Finn helmet and a Lego set. Just going to very quick chat about addresses, and I get a lot of addresses sent to me which are not for full, because I double check people's addresses before I send prizes out, and I use Google Maps. Let's just say if your address was this, and let's just pick off the Royal Palm Beach, Florida, United States, and it'll come up on the maps. Let's take a look. So here's that bit of Florida. Looks like a pretty big freeway or something going in. Looks like two sets of big freeways actually. You don't see that in Australia. If I click on that, you'll see the full address. So there's the address, and the postal service likes to say like that. Notice that there's a zip code there, or postcode if you come from Australia. And the other very important thing is if you can put it in, a name. Now why names are important is because postmen know who lives in streets. That is like the final line of defence if there's something wrong in this address line. If you put a YouTube channel there, the postman doesn't know what YouTube channel you are. That's why names are really important in addresses. If you can give me a name, a lot of people can't. 99% of people can't give me their names. But if you can't give me a name, and let's say the parcel doesn't arrive, well, that's a pretty good thing I can fall back on, because I can say, well, look, he didn't give me a full address, because an address line really needs someone or a business name or something to go to. That's part of the thing, but you also need a name. Names are really important. And I like to finish up with a bit of trivia, something a bit silly. You know me, I like silly stuff. This is one of my son's Thomas's, and it's the one where you pull up here and it lights up.
Hello, I'm Thomas.
And there's something a bit sinister about this one, and I saw my son playing with this one night, and it's what the face does when you put it on a wall. Wait till you see this, guys.
Now we can find our way in the dark.
Well, there's our light up Thomas, and one night my son had this against the wall and he saw something.
Fireboxes. It's dark in here.
What can you guys see there? Is that good or bad? It kept him entertained for some time. Is it like a Transformers face?
I have a very important job to do.
Or is it something else? Isn't it weird what kids see in toys? Anyway, thanks for watching and goodbye.